everybody, welcome to J Stern Designs. It's Quick Tip Thursday, and as I was setting up my studio for this shoot, I was thinking it reminded me of the olden days when I used to shoot with big ARRI lights for lighting. ARRIs are those kind of iconic lights you see on movie sets. They have the black flaps like this, and they're hot light. So when we would set up my shoot with those lights, it would be 1,000,000 degrees in 5 minutes. And I've got these nice Kino flows, which are cool light, cool. They still shoot off some heat, and with the heat wave we're having, it gets really, really warm in here. So I was sort of having like a throwback Thursday kind of moment with my old lighting that my husband used to use to light my set. Happily now, if I had the ARRIs today, I think I would be, wouldn't be able to do it. So happy I have cooler light that's still a little warm. But what I want to do today is talk about a chevron stripe. And I have it in front of me. It's one of the fabrics I'm using for my new t-shirt neckline class I'm working on. And of course, I thought I was going to go to the store, the fabric store, and buy a bunch of fabrics and just whip up all my samples in 5 minutes, because part of the challenge with making a class, working on a class that's got samples, I hem and haw and trying to decide which fabrics to use with which, and a lot of times I'll pull stuff out of my stash and then I'll be, fussy cutting and trying to work with scraps. And it was taking me a long time to work up my samples to test pattern pieces. So I thought, I'll go buy a bunch of fabric and I'll be able to just blow through these samples. It'll be really quick, so I'll know what fabrics I have and what I want to use. Well, I picked some stripes, and my theory of cutting things out fast backfired, because of course, when you work with a stripe, you have to consider how it's going to match. And I have this, I thought this would be really cool, and you can see it's got, in the middle, it's got chevron already built into it, which usually I create this by putting a seam down the center of a bias cut garment, would give you a chevron stripe like this. So I thought, ooh, it's built in, it'll be so much fun. And when I got it home, I thought, oh, I don't want to just put the chevron stripe straight down the middle, because that would be boring. So what I did was I put it off to the side, and I just want to show you what happens when you play with stripes like that. So here's my front, and you can see what I did was I put it off to the side. I thought that would be really, really cool. So when I went to cut out my lower back piece, what happened was I tried every which way to Sunday to get it to match up on both sides, and what ended up happening was I can get it to match over here, okay? So as you can see, these stripes over here are going to match. But what happened when I went over to this other side, I could not get it to match all the way down. I got the first couple to kind of match, and then what happened was it skipped a stripe down here, and I can almost get like the last one will almost match, but I have this weird two here that do not match. And I tried sliding the pieces around 40 million different ways. I spent an hour, and I could not get both sides to match. I'm not like the expert on matching stripes, and I'm not 100% sure why I can't get it to do that, to match on both sides. So if you know, please could you shoot me a comment and let me know. But as it stands now, I'm going to just match up the first couple and the last one, and I'll have two odd ones over here, and I'm just going to live with it because I think the rest of it's going to be really cool. So now that I've told you that it's not going to match up on both my side seams, I also want to show you what I'm doing with the top. Okay, so for this side, these are the pieces of my tee. I thought it'd be fun to keep the peak or the chevron going on this side like that. And then on this side, I have also matching like that. And then this is getting really stripy for me. So I wanted to try something a little bit different for my centerpieces, and this is one of my different necklines I'm working on, and it's a very small, it's sort of a low crisscross kind of a neckline. So I cut out these on the bias woven fabric, and you know, I don't know if I like that. Like, it's a different print and it doesn't quite match. The blues are off a little bit, but I think because it's a busy white print, it might break up the stripe a little bit and give it some interest. So I'd also like to know what you guys think about that. You know, should I put that in there or not? I could also put in, you know, some of this blue white stripe and maybe have just one stripe going across, because I can get it to line up with, you know, having a white line going across. I could do that. But I just thought for something interesting and breaking it up, I would try this, because if you're working with little pieces like that at the center front, you can get away with bias woven fabrics. I don't know if I love it. You know, I cut it out. I'm going to put it aside for a while and think about it. I'm going to work on finishing one of the other ones. Okay, so if you have any, you know, ideas or comments about the fabric I'm using in the middle of the top of my tee, or if you have any tips for matching a chevron stripe when, you know, the front side is wider and the back side is narrower, please let me know. I'd love to hear. You can post comments below, or you can visit me at J Stern Designs. If you're viewing this post via the YouTube, check out my blog at jsterndesigns.com, because I'm linking a post to another striped tee that one of the women did in one of my workshops in Chicago. So it's a really cool striped tee that matches everywhere. So you want to check that out as well. But in any case, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you're keeping cool, and I'll see you next week for Quick Tip Tuesday. Hopefully it'll be cooler.